Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is the first ever video that I'm making. So as you can tell, this is going to be an art channel. I don't know if it's going to mainly be art, but I know it's going to have to do with art related things. I'll be doing challenges, tutorials, I might even do some speed paints. I'll do anything really, as long as it involves art. If there's anything that you specifically want to see, you can go ahead and contact me. I'll put down places where you can contact me below, or you can put in the comments. So what I'll be showing you is how to make the female and male body. When it comes to the female and male body, there's certain things that you want to have. You want to have curves for the female body. As you can see, what I'm doing right here is I am adding curves by having two circles and about one line. And as you can see, one circle is larger than the other one. That helps add curves, which the female body definitely has. The other way that I do it is I have a circle first, and then I add the cheek. I don't know if you want to go with the way that I do, but I don't have the full circle, but I recommend having the full circle. You then want to add a smaller circle, and then you add the shoulders or neck first. I add the neck first usually, but you can go ahead and add the shoulders first if you want. And then you connect the shoulders to the waist. This adds curves because the shoulders to the waist, it goes inward. You can also add the thighs. If you want, you can do shoulder to waist. You can also add arms. That's also cool. I'm not the best at arms, as you can see. I might make an arm video. As you can see, one arm kind of looks like a tentacle. But that's one thing that I need to work on, but everyone needs to work on something. The third way that I like to make the female body is I don't like to start with shapes for this one. I like to just go in raw. But the problem with this is you're going to need to erase a lot. Or you might not. I don't know how you are when it comes to this. But when you're not adding shapes or anything, it kind of is harder to do it. I don't know how it is for you guys, but it's harder for me to really draw things if I don't have a layout on how I'm going to draw it. So as you can see with the female body, for this one, it's more of a realistic kind of look. There is more curves, but it's not too curvy, and there's a line and a V shape where I separate the thighs. Now you can finish adding the legs, you can add the calves and everything and the feet, but mainly that's what I do when I'm making a more realistic female body, and that's all three ways I do the female body. Here's a few things that you don't want to do with the female body, because there's certainly a lot of ways that you can mess up the male body and the female body. There's definitely ways to do that. So one way that you can mess up the female body is I would like you to at least try to stay away from this. If you add more of a rectangular shapes don't work that well. I don't know about you guys, but it hasn't really worked that well with me. And another way is when you go in too thin. Now, with the human body, it is not okay to be that thin. You will most definitely die, or you might just be really sick and ill. I don't know about you guys. Most people might be happy to be that thin, but no, that's not good. You can't do that. As you can see, the waist is really thin, and you have to think about a few things that go along, like where the ribs be. Where would the ribs be located? Where would the heart, the lungs, the stomach, the kidneys, the intestines? Where would all that be located in this? If it's too thin, it can't be located anywhere. So that's one thing that you want to worry about. Another thing that you might worry about when it comes to the female body is making it too stiff and stick-like. Now, you might be thinking that's how the male figure is. No, the male figure is not even this stiff. It has more curves than just this. Sorry about being out of focus. I don't have that best of a camera. I'm just using my phone to record this, but it will be out of focus sometimes. As you can see, the waist, it's too thick and it looks almost like a stick, identical as a stick. You want there to be curves. I know I keep repeating myself, but I can't stress this enough. For the female body, there has to be curves, and even for the male body, there has to be curves. Once again, you also want to add the V shape to separate the thighs. So we're going to move on to the male body. There's a few differences with the male body, but it's all basically the same. With the first one that I showed you for the female body, you can do the same thing for the male body. I usually use the style to make my chibis. One thing with the male body is that from their hip, it goes inward. As you can see, there's a line that goes inward. That's the hip bone. And it kind of shows you how men aren't just a stiff stick, and that they themselves have curves. So both sides will have that. I know on one side I kind of messed that up. It looks easy, but you can really mess it up by going too far outward, or not curving it enough, or making it too curvy, and it's not identical to a stick. That's one thing that's different between the male body and a stick. You also it's optional, but I usually do that just to separate the body and the thighs and everything like that. They are pretty different. So another way that I'll be showing you is, again, the chibi way. But another way that you could try doing it is just by doing two exact same circles and adding it. Now, again, I add a little bit of curve, but not crazy curve, and I go in towards the middle. And you can add the legs. It's gonna give them a curve too for the legs. They're female aren't the only one with curves. I just want to remind you all that. And it'll basically be the same. It's the same thing for that one. You can just kind of make it a bit stiffer, make it a bit more stick-alike if you're into that. That's basically all you have to do, really. Now, this is a good way of making the male body, and this is a good way of making the female body. It's not the best way. I didn't learn this by myself. I had to watch several videos, tutorials, and I had to learn by myself. Because most art styles, not most, but some art styles will make it too thin, or they might give them curves. It really doesn't matter, because all art styles are different. They might give them curves, they might give them stick, they might make them super thin. I can't judge your art style because it's an art style.